all the okay. So we'll summarize all those things which we discussed in the last class. Then we will go. Mm, Okay. So yesterday we discussed about the targeted audiences of this training, right? So those persons who knows Java, I mean basics of Java, they can learn AEM. So prerequisites and so opportunities. So as you know, AEM is a niche technology. It is having high demand in the market. You'll find a lot of job opportunities in AEM. Okay, that's why a lot of we are getting a lot of job opportunities. Okay, and if you compare other CMS with AEM, then definitely you'll get better package in comparison to other CMSs. Course content also we discussed basics and advanced. Course duration is almost 30 hours. Every day 1 hour, and every class will discuss some concept, and based on that concept we'll do some exercises. All the exercises will be done by you in your system only. I'll simply guide you how to do that. Okay. So that by the end of the training, you'll have good hands-on experience in AEM, and you can work as AEM developer in any AEM project. Okay, so then we discussed about CMS, Content Management System, right? So CMS is a tool or software using which you can create the website and manage the content of the website dynamically. So there are a lot of CMSs are there in the market, like WordPress, Joomla, CrownPeak, TDM, AEM, Sitecore. Okay, lot of CMSs there. So you can use any CMSs to create the website and manage the content of the website. Okay, dynamically. So what is content? When you open any website, you will find a lot of images, videos, some text, right? So all those things are content. Manage the content means you can change the content dynamically. Dynamically means without restarting the server, you will be able to change the content of your website if you are using CMS. Okay. Then why everyone is preferring AEM, right? So why business users are preferring, content authors are preferring, developers are preferring. We discussed all those things. We also discussed about Adobe Marketing Cloud, right? AMC. So actually, Adobe sells the product Adobe Marketing Cloud. Okay, they don't sell AEM or Adobe Target or Adobe Campaign individually. They sell Adobe Marketing Cloud. Once customer buys the Adobe Marketing Cloud, they will get Adobe Analytics, Target, Campaign, Campaign, so all the tools. Okay, and these tools are sufficient to launch one revenue generating website. Okay, let's say I want to launch one revenue generating website. I want to show some ads on my website. I want to implement personalization. Okay, so how can I do that? So using AM, I can create the website and manage the content of the website. So AM is part of Adobe Marketing Cloud. Using Adobe Campaign, I can create the advertisements, newsletters, promotions, and I can use those campaigns in my AM website. So campaign is also part of Adobe Marketing Cloud. I want to implement personalization. So I need tools like Target and Analytics. So all are part of Adobe Marketing Cloud. So if I am using Adobe Marketing Cloud, I can easily launch one revenue generating website. But if I am using some other CMS, yeah, and I want to show some advertisements, implement personalizations. So I have to purchase different tools from different vendors. Okay, I have to purchase some analytics tool, campaign tool, target tool. Okay, and I have to integrate all those tools with the CMS. Okay, that will take a lot of time, effort, and cost. So that is the reason all the customers are preferring Adobe Marketing Cloud. Eventually, they are preferring AEM. Okay, why the content authors are preferring AEM? Because AEM provides a very flexible and friendly environment to manage the content of your website. If I want to change some images, videos, some text, directly I can click on that. One widget will open and I can change it. Okay. So very easily I can manage the content of the website if it is created using AEM. Okay. So that's why all the content authors are preferring AEM. Why developers are preferring AEM is easy to learn, and AEM provides one sample web application for our reference. If I want to develop something, I can refer that. Okay. And AEM provides a lot of inbuilt APIs and libraries that will help us to develop the components and templates to develop our website. Okay. That is the reason all the developers are also preferring AEM. Then we discussed about author instance and publish instance. So what is instance? Instance is a platform. Author instance provides a platform to create your website. Okay, all the internal users, developers, content authors, testers, administrators, so they work together in your author instance to create the website. Okay, developer will create templates, components, authoring interfaces, Java classes, JavaScript, all those things. Content author will use the templates to create the pages of your website. Content author use the components to show content on the pages. Admin will do his job. Tester will test it. So all the internal users work together in author instance to create your website. Your website is created now in author instance. You want to expose your website to the end users. Okay. You want to show your website to the end users. So whatever we created in author instance, we have to publish it. So publish instance is another platform, okay, which contains the latest content of your website. Whatever you want to show to the end users, it will be there in your publish instance. Okay, those things first created in author instance, then published. After that, it is available in publish instance. Okay, if you want to do some changes in your publish instance is your live site, whatever you see, whatever end user see. Okay, that is coming from publish instance. If you want to do some changes there in the content, first do that change in author instance, then publish it. Automatically, it will be visible in your publish instance. Okay. So mostly we are going to work in author instance. So because our course focus on core development of AEM. Okay. So this is about any questions, doubts till now? Okay. Then we discussed how the content flows from the content authors to the end users. Okay. So every project are having multiple environments, dev environment, QA, UAT, prod, right? Every environment has its own author instance and publish instance. Okay. Let's say my website is in production. I have production author instance and production publish instance. So I have, for example, I have 3 or 4 content authors working in production author instance. So they will create the pages. They will add content on the pages. Okay. Once they create the pages, added the content, they will publish it. Okay. So whatever pages they created now available in publish instance for the end users. You can have single publish instance or multiple publish instances. Okay. Now end user will access your website. They will type the URL amazon.com or something. Okay. Request will be created. Request will hit the web server. Okay. In the web server, there is another tool called dispatcher will be run. Okay. So all the request will hit the web server and dispatcher will take that request to the publish instance. It retrieves the content for that request and displays the content to the end user. At the same time, dispatcher will do caching and load balancing. So caching will improve your page load time. Caching means it will store the static HTML content in a temporary storage device. Whenever requested, it will retrieve the content from the temporary storage device and it will retrieve the changed content from the publish instance. So that way your page will load very fast. That is called caching. So dispatcher is responsible for caching. Dispatcher is also responsible for load balancing. Let's say your website is having lot of users, lakhs of users. They are trying to access your website at a time. So lots of requests got generated at a time. So all the requests will hit the web server. Dispatcher will redirect the request to publish instances. So if you have single publish instance, your application will become very slow. So they'll launch multiple publish instances. Now dispatcher will distribute the load among different publish instances. It will redirect first 100 users to publish A, next 100 to publish B, next 100 users to publish C. It will distribute the load among different publish instances. This is called load balancing. Okay. So dispatcher is responsible for caching and load balancing and retrieves the content and shows the content to the end user. So this is how content flows from the content authors to the end users. We discussed all those things in the last class. So now we are going to discuss about templates and components. Sometime back I told you developer will create the template, developer will create the component, content author will use the template to create the pages of your website, content author will use the components to add content on the pages. So what is exactly template? Okay, let's go to some website. So I have opened one website, ndtv.com. Okay, fine. So what is template and what is component? So using AEM, we are going to create the website. We are going to manage the content. So observe this page carefully. So what all things are there on this page? Okay, as a developer, not like end user. Observe this page as a developer. So in this page, you can see the logo. This is actually your header. Okay. In header, you can see a logo. You can see navigation bar. You can see another sub navigation bar. Then you can see left panel. In left panel, your video, you'll see some title. Then in the body, you can see cards. You can see some text. In your right panel, you can see some advertisements. Okay. And there will be a footer. Okay. In footer also, there will be some content. So what all things are there on this page? So there is header, footer, left panel, right panel, and body. This is called the layout of the page, or you can say this is the markup of the page. Okay. So template is nothing. It is the markup of the page. Okay. I'll open one more page. So compare this page with the previous page. In this page also you'll find the header. Okay. But if you compare the left panel of your previous page and the left panel of this page, you will find both are different. The layout is completely different, right? And if you compare the body of this page with the previous page, again it will find it is completely different. Right panel also different. So if you compare the layout of this page with the previous page, you will find both the pages are having two different type of layouts or markups. Or you can say both the pages are created using two different templates. Okay, previous page was created using one template and this page is created using some other template. Okay, so templates are markups or layouts to create your page. Okay, developer will develop templates. Content author will use it to create the pages of your website. There are two types of templates, static templates and editable or dynamic templates. So we'll discuss both. Okay, fine. So now if you just give me a minute. Okay. So templates are markups or layouts to create a page. So developer will create the template. Okay. Content author will use that template to create a page. Let's say your website is having a page called terms and condition page. So in terms and condition page, we show header, footer, and in body, we show terms and condition one, terms and condition two, like this. We show on our pages. Then we have privacy policy page. In privacy policy page also we have header, footer. In body, we show privacy policy one, two, three, four, some text we show. Then we have contact us page. So there also we show header and footer. Then in the body, address one, address two, like this. Okay. So if you compare all the pages, about us page, contact us page, privacy policy page, terms and condition page, in all the pages we are showing header, footer, and in body we are displaying some text. Okay. So it means all the pages are having same markup or similar look and feel, or um, uh, you can say all the pages can be created using a single template. Okay. So we can create one template. Using that template, we can create all these four pages, because all the four pages are having similar kind of markup or layout. Okay. So templates are markups or layouts to create a page. In AEM, to create a page, definitely you need a template. Okay. So two types of templates, static and editable. We'll discuss that later. Okay. So now if you see in this picture, so the developer created one template. Now the content author created a page using that template. Okay. So in that page, we'll find header, footer, body, and the right panel. So whatever you see here, that is coming from your template. Okay. So in your template, we'll find only placeholders. Okay. There will be a placeholder for header, footer, left panel, right panel, and body. Okay. When you create a page, you will find same placeholders on your pages also. In those placeholders, we can add components. For example, header. So in your template, there is a placeholder. Placeholder means one empty space. Okay, one empty space for header. In that header, when you create a page, you will find that placeholder on your page also, right? So in that header placeholder, we can add logo component, navigation bar component, search component. Based on your requirement, you can add components. Similarly, in the body, there will be a placeholder in the body. So in that placeholder, I can add a carousel, banner, something like that. Then we have right panel. In right panel, I can show one list, some image, some text. Okay. So using template, when you create a page, you will find placeholders on the page. And in those placeholders, to add content, we need components. For example, so on this page, you can see there is a logo. Logo is a component. Navigation bar, that is also a component. Image component, title component. So this list component, whatever you see. Okay. So now logo is a component. Okay. What is component? Components are reusable functional blocks. Okay. So template is the markup or layout to create a page. Now the page is created, page is blank. Only empty spaces are there. Okay. Now I want to show some content on my pages. So I need component. Let's say I want to show a logo. So I need logo component. Okay. So what is component? Component is a reusable functional block. For example, logo. Logo is reusable. It means I can use this logo component in this page as well as in 100 other pages. Reusable. Or in the same page at multiple places also. Okay. And it should have some functionality. Functionality of logo. If I click on this, it will take me to the home page of this website. This is the functionality. Right. So all the components are reusable functional blocks. Okay. For example, this image. Okay. So it is also a component. It is reusable. I can show the image, some image here, some in some other pages also I can show some other images. Okay. And it has some functionality. Okay. If I click on this, it will tell something about this particular incident. Okay. Fine. So logo is a component. Navigation bar is a component. Image is a component. Title component. Okay. So when you create any website, definitely you have to create some components based on your requirements. And there are some out of the box components also. Okay. We call those components as foundation components, or there are some components we call them as core components. These are out of the box components. Okay. So we can use those components in our website. And if we find those out of the box components doesn't have sufficient or doesn't have that functionality which is matching our requirement, then we can create some customized components. Okay. So two types of components, customized components and inbuilt or out of the box components. Okay. Fine. Inbuilt components are already there. When you install the author instance in your system, you'll get those components. Okay. And customized components, the developer has to create based on the requirement. Okay. So templates are markups or layouts to create the pages, and components are usable functional blocks which are used to show content on the pages. Okay. Any questions, doubts on this? Are you getting?
Yes, yeah, we are understanding.
Okay. So this is very important because this is the basic. In AEM, what exactly we are going to do? We are going to create a lot of components, a lot of templates and all. Okay. So we have to understand what is template, what is component before that. Okay. Then only it will help us to create those things. Okay. Fine. So we have covered all the introduction parts. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about different consoles available in AEM. Okay. So we understood author instance, publish instance, what is dispatcher, how the content flows from content authors to the end users. Then we discussed about templates, components. Okay, these are the very basic things. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about different consoles provided by AEM. So what is console? Console is an interface. Okay. So in any AEM project, we have different type of users. For example, we have developers, two types of developers, UI developer, core developer, content authors, testers, administrators. We have different type of users, and the roles and responsibility of each type of users are different. Okay, the role of a developer is different from the role of a content author. The role of administrator is different from the role of a tester. Okay, so we have different types of roles and responsibility in any AEM project, and they have different type of jobs. Let's say I'm a developer. I want to, I'll get some task to create templates, components, and all. So how will create a template? There is a interface for that. I'll use that interface to create a template. So that interface is also called as console. I'm a content author. I want to create a page. There is a separate interface for that. I'll use that interface to create a page. Okay. So that there is a different console for that. So when you install the AEM author instance in your system, so as I told, we are mostly going to work on author instance. We are developers. Okay. When you install the author instance, you will be able to access number of interfaces or consoles provided by AEM. So before you start the development, you need to understand the consoles. What can you do in those consoles? As a developer, as a content author, tester, what can you do in those consoles? Okay. So once you start your author instance, you will be able to, you will land on this console. Okay. This console is called as start.html. This is the master navigation console. You can see the URL localhost colon 4502 slash AEM slash start.html. Localhost my local system. 4502 is the port number on which my author instance is running. Then aem/start.html is the URL to access this console. This console is called as start.html or master navigation console. From this console, you can navigate to all other consoles of AEM. Okay. So when you start your instance, you land on this console. Okay, start.html. So here you can see number of interfaces, you can navigate to all those things. Okay. Now we'll navigate to one console called CRXT. So that is your start.html master navigation console from where you can navigate to all other consoles. Now we browse CRXDE console, CRXDE. Okay, CRXDE Lite or CRXDE console. So what is CRXDE console? So CRXD is a browser-based editor. Okay, mostly CRXD consoles are used by the developers or administrators. Okay, so it's a browser-based editor. Browser-based means you have to type the URL, then only you will be able to access the CRXD. What is the URL? Localhost colon 4502/CRX/D. Then this console will open, provided your author instance is up and running. First, you have to start your author instance, then you can access this URL. Then you can see the CRXD console. Okay. So as I told, CRXD console mostly used by the developers and the administrators. So when you open the CRXD console, okay, so here you can see is a search box. Okay. Then you can see save all button, create button, and this is your left panel. In left panel, you can see number of folders, apps folder, bin, conf, content, etc, home. So as a developer, we need to know why these folders are there and what can you do in those folders. Okay, in left panel, you can see number of folders here. Okay, if I expand apps, I'll find some other folders are also there inside. Okay, this is your left panel. This is your search box. This is your editor. Okay, so here in the editor, you can write some code. This is your properties panel. Okay, so if you select something in the left panel, the properties of that will be displayed. This is your properties panel. Okay, and at the bottom, you can see some fields are there. If you want to add some property, you can enter the data and click on add. Okay. So this is your CRXD console. It's a browser-based editor. We know editors like Eclipse, NetBeans, IntelliJ, right? Using Eclipse editor, you can create one Java application. You can create one web application, right? Similarly, using this editor, you can create AEM application, CRXD. Okay, mostly used by the developers. So there are number of folders are there in the left panel. So we need to know about those folders. So first we'll see this apps folder. Okay, the first folder is apps. So when you expand the apps folder, you'll find some more folders inside that, right? So out of those folders, you'll find there is a folder called We Retail. Okay, so some time back I told you AEM provides one sample web application for us, sample website for us. If I want to develop something, I can refer that sample website, right? So We Retail is the sample web application provided in this version of AEM. So right now I am using AEM 6.5. So in this version, Adobe provides We Retail as the sample web application for our reference. In some other versions, you'll find weekend tutorials. In some other versions, you'll find geometrics application. Okay. Based on the version, AEM version, you'll find different web application for the reference. Okay. So we'll see W Retail. So when this W Retail is the sample web application provided for our reference. So when I expand W Retail, again I'll find some more folders inside that. There is a folder called components. Okay. So W Retail is another web application or another website, right? So for that website, what all components are required? So they created here. Okay, these all are components. breadcrumb, button, carousel, all are components. Okay. So for the W retail website, what all components are required? They have created here. Similarly, let's say I want to launch my website, training.com, learning.com. So I have to create a folder like this, W retail. So I can create a folder called training or learning. Inside that, I can create a folder called components. Inside that, I can create all the components for my training project. So how I know these are the components? Select anything. For example, button. I selected button. Now go to properties panel. So in properties panel, we can see number of properties are there. There is a property called primary type, row number 5, and the value is CQ colon component. So from this primary type and this value, we can easily understand that button is a component. What about breadcrumb? So primary type CQ colon component. So breadcrumb is also a component. So image is a component. Primary type is CQ colon component. So all the components are having primary type CQ colon component. Whatever you see in this left panel, everything is having its own primary type. For example, W retail. What is the primary type of W retail? We can see NT colon folder. It means W retail is a folder. Inside that, what is component? The component is also a folder. Inside component folder, we created these many components. Okay. So for our training project also, we'll follow this structure. We'll create a folder, inside that components folder, inside that all our components will be created. Okay. So this is about components folder. So similarly, like components, we can create another folder called templates. Okay. So there are two types of templates, static and dynamic. If you want to create some static templates for your project, you can create a folder called templates here. Like components, you can create a folder called templates. In that folder, you can create all the static templates. For this W retail website, you don't find this templates folder here because they have not created any static templates. They used all dynamic templates. Okay. So for our training project, if you want to use static templates, you can create a folder called templates, and inside that, you can create all the static templates. Okay. We'll find another folder called client leaves. Okay. Let me know if you are having some doubts or questions. Hope you are getting everything right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
where does we keep this dynamic templates?
There is a folder called conf. We'll discuss that later. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So you'll find a folder called client leaves. Under W retail, there is a folder called client leaves. So for our training project also, we can create a folder called client leaves. Why? Client leaves stands for client libraries. In any web application, if you want to use JavaScript and CSS style sheets, okay, you have to use client library framework. Okay, like any other traditional web application. Okay, we used to create folders. Inside those folders, we used to create JS and CSS files, and in our JSP or in our HTML file, we just need to refer them. But here it is different. We have to follow client library framework. So for W retail project, you can see these many client libraries they created. Client lib-base, communities, client lib-site. So all are client libraries. So how I know these are client libraries? Click on any client library. What is the primary type? Primary type is CQ colon client library folder. So from this primary type, I understood that this client lib-site is a client library. Means inside this client library, I'll find JS and CSS files. Okay. So if you expand LESS, you can see some CSS files here. Okay. So you can find some JS files here. So for our training project also, we can create multiple client libraries based on our requirement. You can keep JS and CSS files inside there. Okay, this is about client libraries folder. So we understood components, client libraries, and templates folder. There is a folder called config. Config stands for configuration. For your project, if you want to do some specific configuration, configuration means, let's say I want to configure a special separate log file, or uh, in my application, I am accessing some third-party API. That third-party API is having different URLs, endpoints. In dev environment, a separate endpoint. For QA, for UAT, there are separate endpoints for that API. So I can create separate configurations for different environments. Okay. So based on your requirement, you can create the configurations for a training project also. It is not mandatory, but if you need, you can create. There is a folder called I18N. I18N stands for internationalization. So what is internationalization? Let's say I want to launch my website in English language and in French language. Okay. So in my language website, I am showing a button, and the label of the button is learn more. There is an English word learn more. In my English website, a button is there. The label is learn. Okay. I have one French website. Same homepage is there. Same button is there. But the label of the button will be displayed in French. How can I achieve that? With the help of internationalization. So for W retail, so they implemented internationalization. So I18N folder is there. So they internationalized something in English and French. Okay, so we can do same thing also. We'll also discuss internationalization in our project. Then you can see install folder. Inside install, you'll find a jar file. So in your application, if you are using some Java applications, you are creating some servlets, Sling models, some query builder, any utility class in Java, right? So to put all those Java classes in a server, in an application server, you have to create a jar file. Okay, in any web application, Java-based web application, if you are creating Java files, you have to create jar files of them, right? So in AEM also, same. So we have to create jar files. In AEM, we call those jar files as bundles. Okay, OSGI bundles. So it means in W retail, they created some Java classes and they created a bundle of the Java classes. They have to put this bundle in application server. It is not mandatory, but you can create a folder called install and you can keep your bundle here like this. Okay. So this is about your apps folder. So in apps folder, what exactly we are going to create? We are going to create static templates. We are going to create components, client libraries, configurations, right? We can create internationalization. We can keep all our OSGI bundles. So in the apps folder, we can do all those things. Okay. So we have seen the start.html, which is the master navigation console. Okay. Then we have seen the CRXD console, particularly the apps folder in CRXD console. Okay, we'll discuss the rest of the consoles and rest of the folders of CRXD in the next class. Okay, so we are expecting some more students to join. Okay, we'll cover this much today. Any questions, doubts till now?
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
go ahead.
I have a question.
Hmm.
I have checked on job portals like a Naukri, Indeed, but most AME roles require 3 to 5 years experience. So I haven't seen any freshers openings.
Hmm.
So I wanted to know if there any entry level opportunities for a fresher to get a job in AME because
Yes,
most of the openings ask for experienced candidates.
yes. So actually, well, freshers means you just passed out BTech or MCA or something, right? So there is no subject for AEM, Adobe Experience Manager. So they don't expect any freshers learn AEM, knows AEM. Okay. So at least 2, 3 years of experience is required to work on different project where you'll get an exposure to AEM application. Okay, that's why you will find jobs with minimum 3 to 5 years of experience. Okay, so if you are fresher, you can add it in your resume that I am a trained uh, AEM developer. Okay, it will add some value to your resume, or you can show some experience if it is possible, so that you will get lot of calls.
Okay, sir.
Also, AEM is a licensed tool. There are very less number of resources in market. Okay, so that is one reason. So at least they are expecting 3 4 years of experience, where the candidates might have got some exposure to AEM. Okay, anything else?
So after this course, are we able to take that certification test?
Yeah. So in certification, actually, you will get questions of different kinds, scenario-based questions. Okay.
Mm.
And to
Mhm.
clear the certification, I personally suggest to purchase the dump, AEM dump. Okay. It will take some $10, $20. Okay. Purchase the
Mhm.
dump, you will get all the direct questions and answers.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Prepare it and you can clear the certification. Sometimes there are some websites which are selling fake dumps, previous year dumps. You should be careful. Or you can form a team of 3 4 members, and you can contribute some amount, and you can purchase 3 4 5 dumps from different websites, and you can
Mm.
prepare.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this is how we used to clear the exams, certifications. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
If you go for the certification directly, you will be able to answer 30 40 questions, 30 40 percentage of questions. But to pass the exam, you need 70% or more.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
Okay, guys. So that's it for the day. So we'll discuss the rest of the things in the next class. Okay, see you
Okay.
tomorrow
Thank
same
you.
time. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.